everyone, it's Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet, and today is Monday Make Along. And with that, for this next few episodes of Monday Make Along, I'm going to be working with my twister yarn from Hobbii, because this is a Hobbii sponsored Make Along. They gifted me the yarn so that I can make something for you. There are links to the yarn in the description box, the Hobbii website, and the stitch markers that they also sent me. There's little sheeps and little kitty cats. Yep, kitty cats, there we go. But they're there. Little sheep and little kitty cats. These links are in the description box below. And just in case you missed my first video with this collaboration, I am using twister yarn, twister solids. This is Hobbii's hashtag noshadesofgrey on YouTube. But it's just hashtags noshadesofgrey. And we were challenged to make a clothing item using bright colors. Well, I'm assuming they want bright colors, but using non-gloomy. That's mostly it, because January 16th is known as the gloomiest, bluest, saddest winter day of the year, and we're trying to take away the winter blues. And I am making a top inspired, maybe kind of cover-up-ish kind of thing, inspired by the Bahamas oceans. And so the colors that I chose were for that. Now, if you want to make such an item, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to call this more of a demonstration than a tutorial, because I really am not a tutorial kind of girl. I don't pattern write. I really don't know how, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I've been doing, I should say. So this is how we're going to do this. If you want to make this, it's going to be, you're going to make it based on your, or the person that you're making it's for, size. So what I did was I started with 2 panels and I made them at the same time. I used 2 skeins of the twister in what is known as white, but they don't call it white. They call it number 101, and I used 2 cakes to make, well, this is what's left of the 2 cakes. A creator's tip that was given to me is that if you're going to make 2 panels or 3 panels of something, do them all at the same time. Do 2 rows of this on one panel, do 2 rows of it on the next panel. 3rd panel, 4th panel, however many panels that you want them to be the same. Allow yourself time to be able to do all the same at the, so many rows of each at the same time, so that your tension is the same per time that you sit down to crochet. So we're going to start with the V-stitch. Well, actually, we're not going to start with the V-stitch. We are going to start with a row of chainless half double crochets. That's how I started this. I did 93 stitches for me. So the nice thing about doing a chainless chainless foundation is that it doesn't shrink up as much when you go back. So you can crochet the chainless foundation until you get it to the size that you want, and that's pretty much going to be the same size that it's going to be. A chainless foundation to me is a lot slower than initially. I mean, you can chain 93 and if you in no time, but then you got to go back and do the half double crochet row, which in this thin yarn is difficult for me anyway, because the yarn is thin. So if you can do the chainless foundation, I find in the long run it's faster and easier, particularly with thinner yarn and smaller hook. I will demonstrate to the best of my ability on how to do that. And then what I suggest is that you hold it up. Okay, this is how much off the sleeve I want it to be. And I made mine big enough that it covers the biggest part of my body, which in my case, I'm sorry to say, is my belly. So I made the chain big enough to cover the belly because I know that my top it's a croppish kind of top, meaning that it's gonna like end around my waistline, not longer. Normally I would wear a longer top than that, and you know, particularly at my age and body size, I'm not gonna emphasize too much of a crop top, but then we're gonna add the skirting to it. So keep that in mind when you're going around yourself. But the bottom line is it has to be long enough, because this is a pullover, it has to be long enough to go around you at the biggest part. So you're going to do your foundation chain, be it that you single crochet, that you do a chain and then come back and do a half double all the way across, or you do the foundationless half double crochet. If my video is hard to understand, don't feel bad, and don't get upset. I am not the gifted tutorial maker, but there are a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube, so feel free, if you can't follow what I'm doing, to find one that you can follow on any of these stitches, because I'm not going to be hurt. And I think that the pattern is kind of cool looking, and it would be really cool if you would make one as well. And don't be held off because I'm not the greatest. I'm really good at following a tutorial. Don't know how great I am at making one. So that being said, you're going to do a chainless, I'm going to do and show you a chainless foundation, half double crochet, chainless foundation, however you want to say that. I'm going to do not 92 stitches, well, 93, because I've already done this part. So I'm going to do a swatch of that, and I'm going to do it holding 2 strands together, I think, so that it'll be easier to see for you to watch. Maybe I won't. We'll try it and see how it goes. I'm going to like cut the video, and that way if I don't like it, if it's not easier to see, I'll do 1 strand first and see how that works. So it'll be 1 or 2 strands. We'll see how it goes. But you're going to do your foundation chain big enough to go around the biggest part of your body, because your skirt is going to come off of that eventually anyway. So it has to be that size. And then from there, we're going to do V-stitch until it's as long as you want it to go. But I'll get into that as we get into it further. But the half double chainless foundation is what we're going to start with. Or you can chain and then come back and do half double crochet, whichever is the most convenient for you. I did 93 stitches. You should end in an odd amount of stitches, because that works better for the V-stitch. But we're not going to sweat the little stuff either way. And then, and I'm using, this is a 2-weight yarn, and I'm using a 4mm hook. This twister, the solid twister, calls for a 3.5 to 4mm hook, and I am using a 4. I tend to crochet light, but this yarn is 100%. No, it's 55% cotton, 45% acrylic. It doesn't have much give to it as far as stretchiness. So keep that in mind when you're making your chain. And it, like if you make a stitch and it's big, they tend to even out with this yarn. I find that happens when I'm working with it. So let's just get started. I'm going to stop this video, turn my camera around, and I'm working on my tabletop, which is dark, so hopefully the white will show up really well. Okay, I'm going to start by making a slip knot and chaining 2. 1, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. And then we're going to yarn over and start our half double crochet foundation row. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to put your needle in the back loops. I tend to work in the back loops all the time, but specifically for this, you want to go into the back loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through that bottom loop. That's going to give you the chain. Then you're going, well, the start of the chain. Then you're going to yarn over, complete your chain. That's your chain, for your foundless chain. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That gives you your half double crochet. So now you're going to yarn over again, go through that first 2 for your chain, so your V's there, and you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. I gotta give myself a lot more yarn here. Let's come on, get the right tail. Not the knot. Okay. So this yarn that's on your hook here, this is gonna be your chain again. So yarn over, pull up a loop, freeing up your chain. I hold on to those 2 stitches. That way I always know which one is my chain. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3, giving my, that didn't work. Pull through all 3, giving myself the half double crochet. Yarn over again, go into the loop that I was holding on to. You see you've got your 2 stitches for your V. You yarn over. This gives you, this is going to be your chain. This stitch right here is going to be your chain. So you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop to give you your chain. Hold on to those 2 stitches. Yarn over again, pull up a loop. So let's do that again. Yarn over, go into your 2 stitches that you're holding. Yarn over, pull up your next chain. Yarn over to free that chain off your hook. Hold on to those 2 stitches, yarn over, make your half double crochet. So we're going to continue to do this. Yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, let's free that chain off of there. Hold on to those stitches. I mean, if you're good, you don't have to hold on to those stitches. I hold on to them. It just makes it an easier and faster way for me to do this. And we're going to go through, now I'm going to do 25 stitches because I want an odd amount of stitches for the V stitch. Let's do that one over. I want an odd amount of stitches for the V stitch, and in the long run the cabling is done with wait, no, I gotta do 28 stitches. The 29 stitches. The cabling is done with 8 plus 4. So I'm gonna do 3 8s at 24 plus my 4 to give me 28 stitches, plus I need one to be an odd, so 29 stitches. Because for the V stitch we have to go 29 stitches. And I'm not going to really, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm not going to really worry too much about the stitch count for the skirting at this point, because we can always do a stitch or 2, a couple increase or decrease when we get to that point if we need to make enough stitches for. So you mostly just want to make sure right now that you have enough stitches to go around the biggest part of your body for as long as your article of clothing is going to go. The cover up is going to split in the middle at the skirt, so it doesn't have to be really form-fitting, or you know, you don't have to worry so much about that. As well, as long as the top part that's closed is going to fit around the biggest part of you, you're going to be really okay. And I would make it, you know, a loose fit. You're going to wear this like over a tank top, over a bathing suit, you know, with over a bathing suit, over a tank top with a pair of jeans, or a pair of shorts, even depending on how long you make it. I don't know that I would, over a skirt, maybe, you know, some kind of like sleeveless summer top. But I'll probably mostly, like, in my head, I'm wearing this over a pair of jeans and a tank top. So continue on until, well, it's kind of upside down for you. So just continue this on until you have enough stitches to go around the biggest part of you. And I'm going to finish until I have 29, and then I'll come back. Alrighty, I have 29 stitches. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. You can chain up if you want. I don't do that. From this point, we're going to make double crochet V-stitch. But we're going to do a double crochet in the first and the last stitch of each row. So you're going to, I chain 1, and then I do what my daughter calls a fat boy, but other people call it an alternative. I think they call it an alternative turning chain. So you go into, because you chain 1 and you're going to go right into this first stitch, and you're going to pull up a loop like you would a single crochet and make a single crochet. Then you're going to go into that side stitch right, let me get you closer, right here, and you're going to pull up another loop and make another single crochet, and that will give you a double crochet, basically 2 singles on top of each other. Now we're going to skip this stitch right here, and we're going to go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to go right back into that same stitch and do another double crochet. You're going to skip the next stitch. You're going to double crochet in the next stitch. So that's pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to come back in and make another double crochet in the same. So you yarn over, pull up a loop, you have 3 on your hook, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to continue to do this all the way across and for many rows. So continue to V-stitch. Get some more yarn here. So it's yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, make a chain. So just yarn over and pull through 1. Then we're going to, sorry, phone call. Yarn over, make another double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're not chaining in between, we're just skipping that in between stitch. And we're going to make another V. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet back in the same stitch. Skip 1 and do it again. Maybe this would be easier. Nope, that went away too far. Oh, there, that might be better. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, make a single crochet, yarn over, make an additional double crochet. Now I'm going to tell you, I want you to continue this all the way across. For some people, it might be easy and best when you're new to put a stitch marker at the ends of your rows so that you don't accidentally miss a stitch. But that's your, so here, stitch marker in your first chain of your fat boy. And then when I get to the end, I don't normally do this. When we get to the waves at the end, the skirting part, then yes, definitely will need stitch markers. I usually do not use them in my everyday crochet, but if you're a beginning crocheter, and when I was a beginning crocheter, in order to keep my edges straight, I always found it best and easiest on me if I put a stitch marker on the first and last stitch. That way you don't accidentally miss that stitch. I'm trying my hardest to keep this in the center and up close. Maybe up close is better for those that are watching. So we're just going to continue to V-stitch, chain one, V-stitch, skip one, V-stitch, and if I'm correct, it should work out that I have an extra stitch at the end. I hope I am doing this correctly. Yep. So now we get down here to our last V. Of course, I need more yarn right at the end. And then we're just gonna do a single crochet right here. Well, I guess maybe I should have done an even number. No, we're gonna do a single crochet right here. We're gonna make it work, whatever happens. There, yeah, that's right, there we go. Single crochet right there. I don't know why that one's funky. And oops, there. So that's what it's looking like. Now I'm going to do a chain one. That doesn't count as a stitch. That's just so that we can go back into this stitch right here and do our fat boy. So you're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up another, pull through two, go in the side of that stitch, pull up a loop, pull yarn over and pull through two. Now we're going to put a stitch marker, if you need to, right here in that stitch. That's your end stitch. This will always have a double crochet in it. Now we're just gonna do double crochet V stitches into the chain one space of your V stitch. So you're still doing your double crochet, chain one, double crochet, then you're just going to jump over here to the center of that next V stitch and do the same thing. You're going to do your double crochet, you're going to chain one and double crochet. So you created an additional V stitch, and we're just going to make V stitches inside the V of the V stitch. All the way across to the end. Oh, I'm trying to make sure I stay in the middle here. So I will meet you at the end of your row, at the end of my swatch. So when I get to the end of this row right here, just for swatching purposes, I'm going to change color. On my top, I had 93 stitches across each panel, and I went down from here, from, what is going on? Oh, that's a string. So I went down, before I started changing color, I was 28 rows. I am a kind of short and fluffy girl. 28 rows came below my breast line, and I went to here. If you're a tall girl, then obviously you're going to want, wherever you want to change the color. But I went down 28 rows and I changed the color. I did one row of the tan color, and in this, that is number 137 in the twister. So that's what I'm going to show you, is changing it to the tan color. So I did 1 row of tan, 1 row back to the white, 2 rows of tan, no, 2 rows of tan, 2 rows of white, and then 3 rows of tan before I started the skirting. And that's how long it was for me to be perfect. My original thought was that I was going to do 3 rows of white after this 3 rows of tan, and then another row of tan, and then the skirting. But I was too short for that, so I ended it here. You can choose to do your colorway any way that you want, any way that fits your body. But for me, this was the white sands turning dark with the water into a darker, so I went to tan color. A lot of beaches have tan sand, but the Bahamas, I think, tend to have more white sand, but when it gets wet, it gets a little darker, I would assume. And so I went to the tan, or from the white. This is the way I did my color scheme. I'm just going to show you how I do the change of color, and you can do your color scheme and then make it as long as you want for your body. With this, I do have some ease, probably 1.5 inches on each side at my widest point. So I'm going to show you how to change the color, and then we'll probably end this video for this week and get into the skirting next week's video, and see how that takes us. Let me change the color with you, and then you can continue to work on your top until the next video. Alright, so when I join colors, I'm going to take the stitch marker out. I know it's a big stitch marker for this thin yarn. I'm going to start my double crochet, my ending double crochet. And so I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over again and pull through the first 2. I'm going to take that yarn and hold on to it. And I'm going to add the tail of the next color and hold on to it. I'm going to yarn over with my new color. Oh shoot, I'm not even in the frame here. Yarn over with my new color and pull through the 2 loops on my hook to finish that double crochet. Then you can pull this tight, you know, make them like look nice. Now I'm going to, I split my yarn there. Oops, there we go. I'm going to yarn over and do my chain 1 and turn my work, and then continue on with my fat boy. So I'm going to go into that first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 on my hook. My yarn is fighting me over here. I'm going to go in to the side of that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, pull through both, and complete my stitch on this side. So you are really only, you're finishing that bottom stitch with the yarn from your new color, and you don't have like a funky looking line or anything. Then you're just going to go in and do your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on your V-stitch, pull more yarn out, and go into the V of your next stitch. Let me do a couple of these on here, and then I can hold it out and show you what it looks like. Now, again, if you're a newer crocheter, you might want to put that stitch back into your first stitch on your, I put it in the wrong one. Oh, look at that. I want to put it into the top stitch here. And that's what you're going to look like now. Now, I tie this together, and then eventually you'll weave in your ends. But just for more added security, I put a little knot there. And then you'll weave in your ends just like you normally would. Now you're going to continue with the tan yarn all the way across. for as many rows as you want to do the tan, however you want to, do your color change, if indeed you're changing color. But that's how I do it. I am going to go all the way across for this and hold on to it until the next video, where we're going to add in at that point the waves at the bottom. Now, don't stress yourself if you don't get through to that point by next week. I mean, that's okay. It's on video. You can come back whenever you're ready. No, I'm on a time limit for this, but you are not. So I have to get mine done. So after we get the waves started, I won't be working on this sample anymore. I'm going to go right to my own project and show you as I make it along. So from here, as I said, I'm going to show you how to start the waves, and then I'll be working on my own project from that point on in the videos. So we're just going to get this done, and I will see you next week in Monday's Make Along with more of a demo on how to make this top, if you want to. So I hope you appreciate, or not appreciate, but I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that, I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you like this video, and that you can, I hope I'm doing a good enough job to allow you to make one, if you so desire. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye. All right, I almost forgot. I have to show you how I joined and what I did for that. So I made 2 swatches because we're doing a front and a back panel, and I did crochet them the same day, but they're 29 stitches long. Obviously one was a little tighter than the other, but that's okay, it'll still work. Don't mind my ends. I am trying to conserve the yarn in case I need it, because my big project is not yet complete. It's still over here. So if I need these, if I want to make, I don't want to cut the yarn in case I need it if I decide to add sleeves, which I kind of want to do. So I might need this extra yarn. I probably will need the extra yarn. So what I'm going to do to make my panels, crochet them together, mine are 29 inches. So I divided that in half, which would be 14 and a half. No, I think I divided it in a third. Yeah. I tried to go like a third. So like 10 on each side. I think I actually went 11 stitches on each side. 11 or 12, whatever fit across my shoulders. And I put the chainless foundation edges together. And I'm just going, I made a slip knot in my yarn. I'm going to use a different color so you can see it better. And I'm just going to take those end stitches, go through, let's see if we can get it up close enough and out of the shadow, go through all 4 of the end stitches with a slip knot on my hook, and I'm just going to do single crochet, 4 stitches on my hook and do a single crochet. So lining up each stitch as I go, I'm going to single crochet them all together across until I put stitch markers in to hold it. So for this, well, on my big one I had 92 stitches, so it's not the same here, but stretch that out a little because I did the first one. The one that I showed you I did much slower, so it's much bigger. So anyway, I just did a single crochet join for the shoulder, this will then be the inside of your top. When I got to as far as I wanted to go, which probably was 30 something stitches on mine actually, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, let's go 10 here. Then I cut my yarn and I went on to the other side and did the same thing. I'm not going to cut my yarn here. Like I said, I'm trying to conserve it. But then you just pick up or turn your work and start from the end, whichever works for you, and continue. I did cut my yarn here, you know, and start on the other side. But I just want to, and I'm not even sure that I'm in the same spot on each one, on this side, on this end. But just to give you an idea, you just make sure you go through all 4 of the stitches on your V's of your foundation chain. Yep. And you match up your stitches. Even if you're off a little bit like this, or this back one here is bigger, if you match up stitch for stitch, they'll even up. The yarns will play well together. So these might not, because as you could see, I didn't count. I would, if this was the actual top, I would have started at the other side to make sure that, you know, I got my stitches in order, and then the right amount will be left in the middle, and this one's gonna not work out. I didn't grab it one stitch. I'm one stitch off. That's not so bad. So then when you turn it inside out, or the right way, it'll be a kind of invisible join. So this is now right side up. This is the wrong side, and that'll be on the inside. Unless you like that stitch showing, you can do that. So let me pull my original out here, the one that we're actually working on. So the top of my shoulders look like this, and I liked that, and better than them looking like this when I put it on. And I actually put it on and said which side is going to be the right side and which side is going to be the wrong side. And I was with Nancy when I did it, and we decided we liked it to look like this better. So this became now the right side of my work. And in further down the video, that'll be important that you have the right side of your work facing out, you know, facing you when you're working, right? Isn't that what you do? Put the right side. So now that the 2 pieces are joined together, I joined mine together when they were big enough to go to be armholes. So on my I want to call it blanket, on my top, I came down, as you can see, here's the top. I came down this far. When the panels were that big, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 20, 27 rows? No, that should be the 28th row. I thought I miscounted up there. Should be the 28th row. That's right, I remember, because then I joined, that's what I said earlier. Mine was 28 rows before I added the tan color, and it's the tan color in which I started going in the round. So all up until, oh no, oh well. All up until the 28th row, I did 2 panels. At the 28th row, it was long enough that I was happy with the length of it. It went around my arms comfortably, loosely, because this is going to be a summer top. I don't want it to be uncomfortable and tight, and I'm going to wear a shirt underneath it. So at that point, I joined the shoulders like this, in this manner. Then I turned it over so that my right sides are together, and then I started on one side and just crocheted around with, in my case, the tan yarn, like I talked about before. So I have 2 rows on the white and this row on the tan that I started. And now that I am joining them, I'm just going to continue with the tan at this point. So this is my armhole now. And oops, I think I lost a stitch here. Oops, I did. Well, that's not advantageous. Okay, let's fix this guy. Okay, we're going to pull him through and pretend that he's a full stitch because, like I said, I don't want to cut the yarn. So we're going to just pretend that that one's a done stitch. And then we're going to just continue with the single crochet at the edge. And then I'm going to single crochet into this single crochet. I mean, not single crochet, it's a double crochet, not a V-stitch. I'm going to double crochet into this end double crochet. If this was a finished stitch here, this would be like this. And I'm going to double crochet into this double crochet to join the two together. So on the sides, there will be 2 double crochets together. Then I'm going to go back into my V-stitch and continue with my V-stitches. V-stitch, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, V-stitch done, and then continue with the next V-stitch. Now, in the making of this video, you may or may not want to change your yarn. When I did, I changed the yarn, and the how I changed the yarn will come up after I did this. Or maybe I should put it back together. I cut the video. I'm not the best at tutorials. Anyway, we're going to continue this in the tan. I guess I should put the video back together. I'll have to see. But because I spliced the video so that I could put in how you join, I got myself confused. I'm going to put the video back together, I think, so you'll be seeing this all as it goes. So you get the tan on there, and you got the bottom line is I joined the corners, the shoulders before I added the tan yarn. That's why I wanted to show you the join first, because that's how I did it. I joined the shoulders when the project was 28 rows deep, because that's what it was comfortable on me to be. And that's when I changed my yarn color and I joined my shoulders all at the same time. And made my armholes by crocheting across the join where the 2 panels meet. And I'll show you that again when I get to the other side. And then it became a continuous top, and from that point on we crochet in the round. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now here I am at the last V-stitch. And as I said before, we're still going to have our last double crochet. Yeah, come on, get on there. So you're still going to do your last double crochet. What did I do? Huh. I didn't finish my V-stitch, or it fell off or something. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Now we're going to join the other side of the armhole. And I'm sorry about all the loose strings here. And it's going to go right into where my stitch marker is on my last, or my first stitch. So we take that one out. And I'm just going to continue with another double crochet. Well, I made that stitch a little bit large, but that's all right. So there's my double crochet on top of my double crochet. And then we're going to continue to V-stitch. And we're just going to go round and round. And let's see. My yarn has a little knot in it. Come on. Come out of there. There it goes. And you can change your color again anytime you feel like you want to change your color. I showed you what I did. So now we have a little neckline and little armholes. Minus a lot of strings. But you can see your arms come out here. It's attached at both sides. So on the ends, you will have your standalone double crochet is still going to be there, but now it's going to be 2 double crochet, V stitches, double crochet, V stitches. That's how the ends are going to work. There's still a double crochet on each end, but now it's one piece. So there'll be 2 double crochets and then all the V stitches along. I'll show you what that looks like on my top that's done. Let me clear out the space here. My stitch marker case has attached, if you can see that, and it's stealing. Okay. The paper, I should have just thrown it away, but here is the sides. Here are the sides. Here we go. So it looks pretty seamless, but you can see if you study carefully, there's double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and then your V stitches. Double crochet, and it is the same way on both sides. Now this side is a little bit jagged from where I have basically chained up when I get to the round and changed color. Or I didn't chain up. I just continued to go around and around and change color at these double crochets here. So that's the one spot that isn't like as nice as what I would like it to be, where these two like don't match up real well as far as the color goes. And that's because I did it in the round. If I had chained up instead, you probably would have a seamless color change, but I didn't do it that way, and I didn't know how to do it that way until I got several rows in and I wasn't pulling it out because I'm on a time frame. And it's one little tiny row under my arm. I don't think anybody's going to look that close, and if they do, then they don't hand make anything or they criticize. I don't care. I'm okay with it, and if you're okay with it, you can do it that way. If you aren't okay with it, if you want it to look more like this side where there's, this wasn't the end of the round. See, that's the thing. This is where the round ended, and I always keep a stitch marker where the round ends until I am done ending rounds. But if you're not happy with that, you can chain up and go row by row instead of in the round. And either way is completely fine. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So this is where we're at now. From this point on, I'm just going to work on my regular. Oh no, I will have to show you how to attach on here, how to start the wavy part. So I'll leave this until the next video when I start the wavy part. And we'll go from there. So this might be a little confusing, but I will add a note at the beginning that I changed color, and you can change color wherever you want. Before I joined in the video, but there is a change color and how to do it. Video, part of the video, just go a little further. So there's that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. So, and we may as well just get right into how to finish. So I have 2 rows of the tan on my top and all the way around. So I'm going to take this is the end, and that's as far as I'm going to go. So I'm just going to slip stitch. I did my double crochet at the end, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the double crochet of that one, chain 1 to kind of knot it, and then cut my yarn. But as we know, we're not cutting the yarn here. And in the next video, we will start the weaving part, the water part of the top. But this is kind of what your top part of your cover up should look like at this point, is that you've got your V-stitch top, you've got armholes, and you've got a neckline. And so you've got a top. We have not yet done anything to finish the neckline or the armholes, but we're going to go into the skirting next, and that will for sure be in the next video. So I hope that this wasn't too horrible to watch. I watched it, yeah, I chatted a lot, and there's a little confusion in the color changing, but I'm going to put the video back together so when you see it, all that babble, you won't have any idea what I'm talking about, because I decided that we're going to change the color, and then we're going to go to how we put it together and just do it the way that it was originally. And this will be at the end. So now your top is complete, and in the next video, we will start the pretty colors of the skirting. See you then.